Hey, how's it going, fight fans? Welcome to mindforcombat. If you're new to the channel, my name's Rohan. It's my platform where I do fight sports related content. If you're new here, why don't you help me grow the platform? All you got to do is like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel, and maybe hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a video. Now, this is a video that's very, very important to make, and it's really kind of emphasizes everything that I love about the world of mixed martial arts. It's Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Now, the fight itself is important, but this fight has importance beyond the fight, and that's because the people of China are going through something absolutely atrocious right now, and that's obviously, you guys are going to know this, that's the ongoing coronavirus epidemic, and now it's spreading fast, and a lot of it may just be, the media making it a lot bigger than it is, but the truth of the matter is, or even the fact of the matter is, however you want to term it, people are dying in numbers they shouldn't be dying in, and my heart absolutely goes out to the people of China. So I really hope that this fight gives them an opportunity to look forward to something that's positive, and that's their current homegrown world champion who's competing on an international stage and bringing a lot of eyes into the sport, and you kind of gives everyone that moment of peace to kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy the world of combat sports despite what's going on. Obviously, everyone on this channel everyone that chooses this channel, I speak to all of you guys, you're all great people, so just join me to give some thoughts to everyone in China. With that said, the fight itself is a very appealing one. We've got the current women's world champion at 115 pounds taking on the former long-time queen at 115 pounds. Joanna Jedrzejczyk, who's since losing to Rose Namajunas that first time, has kind of had an up and down career. She lost to Rose again, won a fight against Tisha Torres and went up and lost to Valentina Shevchenko at 125, come back down. She's won a fight again. She looked you can almost say vintage when she fought Michelle Waterson, but she finally looked to have found that consistency back. Now, speaking after the fight, she said that what had previously impacted her performances was her, her breakup in her relationship with her fiance. Now, that is something that can impact someone in many different ways. I have no doubt that if that was ongoing, that would definitely impact the young lady's career. This is a fighter who, was absolutely dominating at 115 pounds. Then Rose comes out of nowhere and puts her out. Then she loses again to Rose in the rematch. What does that say about Joanna, and where is she right now? She takes on Zhang Weili, who's kind of come out of nowhere very quietly and kind of got eyeballs turned in her direction, and people to say, oh, okay, hold on a second, when she knocked out Jessica Andrade in the first round. Now, leading into that fight, I felt like she was incredibly underrated, and which is why I picked her to take out Jessica Andrade. If you don't believe me, videos old here, don't delete my videos, and really show her wide display and talent in the world of kickboxing. What I didn't expect was her to finish the fight the way she did, and she's an absolute beast of a competitor, so it's a very, very interesting fight. With that said, let's get into the tape and let's break this down. Both these ladies are very young ladies. They're fighting in the physical primes of their career, as Zhang Weili, or Weili Zhang, however it goes, is only 30 years old. She takes on Joanna Jedrzejczyk, who's 32 years old, 2 years older, but still no doubt in their prime. Now, both of these ladies have had long kickboxing career. For Zhang Weili, it was in the Sanda kickboxing world and the Wushu kickboxing world. For Joanna Jedrzejczyk, was on the international kickboxing circuit in Muay Thai. So they've got tons of experience coming into this fight, and I have no doubt that they've racked up the mileage, but I still believe that they've so much in their physical primes just based on what I've seen. Now, Joanna Jedrzejczyk, there could be some questions. With Zhang, there's no questions at all in my mind. Zhang comes to this fight with a professional record of 20 wins and 1 loss, and she takes on Joanna Jedrzejczyk, who's got a professional record of 16 wins and 3 losses. So Zhang has 21 fights, Jedrzejczyk has 19 fights, not very dissimilar in experience. The difference is, though, that Joanna Jedrzejczyk has had a lot, and I mean a lot, of main event world championship experience, fighting in the UFC for as long as she has been and having the title for as long as she did. She's obviously very well thought of in the UFC, and she's got tons of experience, and that experience will play out if the fight is a tough, grueling one. She's been there, she's had them rough fights, and it's very, very interesting. Zhang stands at 5'4", which makes her 2 inches shorter than the Polish fighter, who stands at 5'6". So that 2 inches should be very interesting to see how it's used. That same size advantage is replicated in the reach, as Joanna Jedrzejczyk has a 2.5 inch reach advantage with a 65.5 inch reach, as opposed to Zhang Weili's 63 inch reach. Now, being that Joanna Jedrzejczyk is a striker who likes to use her distance, it's going to be very interesting to see how she utilizes that. Speaking of which, when we're talking about their styles are very similar. For Zhang Weili, I'll describe her as a kind of borderline Muay Thai standout fighter. You know, she's got that kickboxing style. She's very strong in the clinch, and she's just generally a very technically proficient striker. As did Joanna Jedrzejczyk, and I would describe them very similarly. Obviously, I wouldn't describe Joanna Jedrzejczyk as a standout fighter, and although she's got strength in her clinch, where she shines though on the feet in her Muay Thai is in her activity. Her output is absolutely second to none. She is a pressure fighter, and she likes to chip away at people with so many strikes and them fast combinations, and she racks up points like that. The key rings, we'll start with Zhang Weili, because obviously she's been around for not so long, so she hasn't got that many key wins. She's beaten Tecia Torres, who's, you know, a relevant top fighter for a long time, on a bit of a skid now, but for a long time she was at the top of the game, and she obviously took out Jessica Andrade in that beautiful first round performance, which was really her coming out party, which was very interesting. Joanna Jedrzejczyk, you got all the way back to when she first came about in the UFC, taking out Claudia Gadelha. Actually, she's taken her out twice. She took out Carla Esparza, who was the champion at the time, and Carla Esparza was very well thought of at the time, and, you know, she still is. Of course, she's beaten the likes of Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Valerie Laturdu in UFC Australia, that massive fight. She's beaten Michelle Waterson more recently. Like I said, she's also beaten Tecia Torres. And, you know, she's just beaten so many great fighters. She's been around for so long that this is a fighter that you really got to respect for everything that she's done and laid out the foundations of the game that she's built is very, very important. The issues when it comes to Zhang Weili is firstly going to be that experience at the main event level in the UFC. How she's going to be in there in a championship fight in rounds 4 or 5 if she's not able to take out Joanna, who is a historically tough fight to take out. And she can coast. She's been known to coast in some of her fights, and that's certainly something I've observed about her. She takes on Joanna Jedrzejczyk, who, if I was to point out an issue for her, it's most certainly her wear and tear. As we saw in her fights with Rose, she's taken a lot of damage. Rose was able to get the job done, and she's taken a lot of damage in fights since then, even with fights like Valentina Shevchenko. Is it all catching up with her? The fights that she was winning when she was streaking, she was taking damage. Is it going to catch up with her? Now could be the time. Who's to say it's not? It's very interesting to see it play out. The X factor for Zhang is going to be her freshness, her hunger and motivation. She's obviously pissed off with Joanna Jedrzejczyk for putting up that insensitive Instagram post about coronavirus, which she shouldn't have done, really. And the X factor for Joanna Jedrzejczyk is her experience. With that said, let's get into the prediction. That's a very interesting fight for me. When we're thinking about this fight for Joanna, she's going to want to stay at a distance, she's going to want to score up points, and she's going to want to win a decision. But where Zhang will win this fight is in close in the clinch with her elbows, and if she's able to do damage. If she is able to get into the clinch, and I have no doubt she will, because whilst Joanna has great output and great footwork, she's not the hardest hitter, so that may not deter someone like Zhang, who's an absolute tank fighter, and someone who gets in close the way that she does, and she'll probably be able to get in, latch on, and throw elbows and damage Joanna early. Now, Joanna will probably start to shine as the fight goes on. I believe she's got better conditioning than Zhang does, and I believe that conditioning will play out. I believe that Zhang's going to be able to do enough damage early to rack up early rounds to win the fight. I believe that Zhang will win rounds 1 through 3 pretty convincingly. 1 and 2 most certainly. As it goes on, round 3 will get more competitive. 4 and 5 are toss-ups. I tend to lean on Joanna Jedrzejczyk for round 5. Round 4, who knows? But rounds 1 through 3, I am confident to pick Zhang will win. So therefore, fight fans, for my official prediction, I'm going to pick that Wang Zhailei, or Zhailei Wang, however it's said, wins enough of the early rounds to be able to get a unanimous decision when this fight goes to full 5 rounds, which I believe it will. So any fight fans, why don't you guys comment below? Let me know what you thought about the breakdown. Let me know how you see this fight going. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown, and I hope you guys didn't mind me touching on something that isn't fighting related. It was just something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Anyways, guys, as always, I appreciate you tuning in. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, help me grow my platform. Thank you for watching. I'm Rohan, and this is Mindful Combat.